Get ready for the dictation. Start. In science and academics, the search for the truth is the main driving force for advancement. Ego and stubbornness are stumbling blocks when it comes to policy making for millions of people in India with regard to their health and safety. It should be guided by science and hard evidence generated from systematic research. The interview expert panel will study star rating FSSAI CEO with Arun Singhal, CEO, Food Safety and Standards Authority of India, reflects a different story. The FSSAI is a regulator on healthy and safe foods produced in the country, constituted by the government for the people and funded by taxpayers' money. It should be impartial and uninfluenced by the same food industry which it has to control and regulate. 6 rounds of stakeholder consultations already conducted. A line in the interview: do not exempt the FSSAI from any more consultations if pending issues have still to be sorted out. Unresolved issues may require more consultations with the new evidence generated. If the consultation is dominated by the industry, how can consumer interest be protected adequately? The classification of foods as healthy or unhealthy is a technical or professional step. This should be decided by a governance body such as the FSSAI or food and nutrition experts or professionals, not by the food industry or manufacturers. What is our concern? The consumption of junk foods that are high in calories, sugar, fat, and salt led to the early onset of obesity among adolescents, insulin insufficiency, and in adulthood results in diabetes, hypertension, cardiac and renal diseases. We need to reduce the production, the marketing, and the availability of such unhealthy foods, and even if available, change consumer behavior in purchasing such processed food by due warning of their contents using the labels on the packets. We appeal to their reasoning and responsible decision making to dissuade them from purchasing dangerous foods. The World Health Organization has issued a threshold for sugar, salt, fat, and calories per 100 grams of processed food packaged or 100 ml of liquid beverages bottled. Unless we generate competing technical data for the Indian population, we have to abide by WHO norms. A technical group set up by the FSSAI has undertaken an evaluation of processed foods on the racks of Indian supermarkets and found 96% of products for one component and 62.8% for three components are above WHO thresholds. We cannot relax thresholds to suit the industry, but industry must alter its composition to healthy limits. The FSSAI must ensure that any order or guideline issued in public interest must be mandatory from day one. We cannot have the flexibility of voluntary adoption and staggered implementation as suggested by Mr. Singhal. The regulator cannot be pleading on behalf of food producers with various untenable excuses to not implement its own stipulations. That is an absolute abdication of its power and purpose. It does not make sense to allow a voluntary adoption of rules, and if someone does not adopt the regulation, relaxing the norms later. Will one ever allow voluntary adoption of wearing helmets while riding two-wheelers or locking a seat belt while driving a four-wheeler over a long period and then agree for a relaxation of norms if compliance is poor? Is this a regulator's way of functioning? No one denies that the Indian Institute of Management, Ahmedabad, mentioned in the interview as having conducted a consumer survey involving 20,500 people, is an institution of repute. So, too are the other IIMs in the country: the Indian Council of Medical Research, the International Institute of Population Sciences, the All India Institute of Medical Sciences, the National Institute of Nutrition, Hyderabad. Stop.